Hi, this is part two on AL-1 where I'm going to go over the filter section. And it's actually the same filter section that you find in Mod 7 and STR1. There's zero difference between those engines, and also much of the things in the filter section are applicable to HD1 as well. So let's start off actually by going over the top. I'm going to try to focus mainly on the multi-filter, but I'm going to go over various other things in the filter section. So the multi-filter is only available for filter A, and it's only available for single serial or parallel modes. If you have it on 24 dB, it'll automatically switch to one of the basic filter types. Something to note about 24 dB, the 4-pole option, is that it's technically the same as having two low-pass filters with the link on in a serial configuration. In fact, you can see that the graphic is no different between this configuration and that one, but you do get the added option of being able to set the resonance type by using the 4-pole option. So anyway, let's go back to single and choose our multi-filter. The multi-filter splits the signal and it sends it to a low-pass filter, a high-pass filter, a band-pass filter, and then a dry. And it allows you to mix various amounts of those and also various amounts of a phase-flipped version of those. So I think the best way to explain it is with examples. Um, let's just go down the preset list. It'll probably be the I'm not going to go through all of them, but this will be an easy way to understand what's going on. So the first four are actually the same exact settings as the first four regular options in the filter. And then we get into more interesting esoteric settings. Oh, by the way, since these four settings are the same, it's you might always want to just keep filter A as the multi-filter instead of ever using the four basic options. These are kind of just there so you can choose them when you're in 4-pole mode. So anyway, we get these weird different modes. We have like low pass plus band pass. And what this is it's a mixture of a low pass and a band pass. So when the signal is split, it's like turning the volume up of the low pass and turning the volume up of the band pass. And this configuration is actually no different from a parallel configuration with a low pass and a band pass. With the filter set up like this, though, we do get the added benefit of being able to kind of see what's going on a little bit better in this graphic. So you can see we have our low pass, and then we have our band pass. And that's nice because it gives us this little colored area showing the overlap between the two filters. But yeah, this response curve is no different than having a single multi-filter with the low pass and band pass options. Something to kind of go over with when it's in this mode is that the multi-filter functions as if the link button is on, which links the cutoff position and it links the resonance controls. So if I move the frequency knob, you can see that the band pass and low pass move with each other. And then if I boost the resonance, since the cutoff of these two filters is in the exact same spot, it just creates a single resonant peak. Now, for some reason, the filter section doesn't, what do I want to say, like compound the resonances. It doesn't make the resonance boost up a ton. It actually sounds like the same kind of feedback you get from a single filter. So I don't know how they did that. I guess just with very careful programming. With the parallel configuration, you do get the added benefit of being able to do an offset between the filters, so you would be able to get two peaks. But if you're just using a single multi-filter, there is no ability to offset the cutoff frequencies. So let's continue on with another weird thing about the multi-filter, is that instead of being able to choose positive signal feeds, you can have phase flipped or just negative filter feeds. So that this is probably easier to explain by maybe showing you with manual. So all of these presets can actually just be made yourself with the manual control by choosing manual, which allows you to mix in the volume of the various filter types, but also choose negative values. So this is just turning up the volume of a phase flipped version of that signal. So it's like flipping the polarity and then increasing the volume. So that can allow for very interesting effects. Uh, so let's say that I have a dry signal and I just have my noise, right? This is just a full dry signal. I can actually mix in some of the bandpass. I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit. I can mix in the bandpass, but with the phase flipped. So I'm creating a band reject filter. So it's actually canceling out everything that's within this bandpass frequency. So I can move this around and kind of create like almost like a phaser type effect. Um, let's say that I'm just dealing with the presets and I have like a low pass and a band pass. And then in mode 2, I have a just a regular band pass. So what this is, this mode, why there's two different modes, is mode 1 is some configuration of the filters, and then mode 2 is actually the exact same setup, but just in some other kind of configuration as far as the volume goes between the filters. And then you have this crossfade knob, which crossfades between the two. So since this one is in a low pass and band pass configuration, this one is just in a band pass. Crossfading, if you look at the graphic, is pretty straightforward. It just goes from that low pass band pass to just a band pass. But let's say that this one is a low pass minus band pass or phase flip band pass. It means that when both are in equal amounts, or there's 50-50, the band passes are actually canceling each other out. So we're just left with a low pass. So you can get very interesting kind of crossfades by using the polarity flip versions of the filter feeds. And then it's really cool because you can control that via AMS, and there's just a lot of fun to be had there. That's everything to do with the multi-filter. I think, oh, well, I guess one thing to kind of cover is you might think that the presets are kind of useless since you could always set everything up yourself, but I think the presets are very valuable because it allows you to switch between different flavors really fast instead of, just kind of having the just switching between them slow. Like let's say that I have an LFO controlling crossfade, it's much faster for me to click through the different flavors than it is to be like, okay, I'm gonna, turn up this and then turn down this, and I could just choose a preset that does the same thing. Yep, so that's it with the multi-filter. I think to round off this series, just for a little bit of fun, I'm gonna just do a little sound design. The last video will just be me kind of freestyling it, and we'll see what we can come up with using what we learned about ring mod and the multi-filter. All right, thanks.